AEG. AEG makes lots of board games, and we're here to tell you which ones are worth your time and which ones aren't. So we're going to walk you through each one of these games that we've played. This is not the entire AEG collection.
Nope.
And actually, at the end of the video, we're going to rank them, because ranking things is fun.
Perfect.
We'll tell you which ones you should buy and which ones you should stay away from. Ready?
I am ready.
Let's do this thing. We're going to jump right in. Let's jump in with smallest box to biggest box.
Smallest is
Yeah.
this little guy,
Yeah.
which is the easiest for me to talk about.
We're going
because
to put these down a little bit.
Yeah, that makes
but
sense.
There's a lot of them. All right. Go ahead. Let's introduce Love Letter.
So Love Letter is a very quick card game where you and up to how many players do you think?
8.
Is it 8?
It's 2 through 4 gets some set of cards, and then 5 through 8 you add in more
Yeah,
cards.
and I don't know if base Love Letter.
Base
you
Love
get-
Letter only has the 1 through 4 or 2 through
that's
4
right.
player.
But it's a very fun like bluffing game.
Yeah, it's like the original like hidden roll game.
Yeah,
almost.
yeah. And it just involves you having 2 cards in front of you. You will play one and then draw another.
Yep.
And you constantly do that, and you play the effect that is on that card. Some will allow you to guess what the other people have, like the guard, which is 1.
Mm-hmm.
And if you guess right, you win, or they lose, I guess. Some of them are like, hey, you can't discard this card, like the princess.
Yeah,
because,
it's just impossible.
Yeah, and it all goes until either everyone but one person is out, or all of the cards are out, and then you compare
Highest
the highest
card,
card,
right, yeah.
and the highest card wins. It's very fast, very easy. I really enjoy this game.
Yeah, I like Love Letter quite a lot. It's one of my first games. I mean, it's like $12 and it fits in your pocket. I mean, that's one of the better things about it. I will say, after having played the 2 through 4 player and also the 5 through 8 cards, I think I just prefer the simplicity of the 2 through 4 player variant. I thought the cards that they added were cool, but it made it a longer game than what Love Letter needs to be, in my opinion. I like how quick Love Letter is. And when you start having to look at all of these cards that are available, the downtime ramps up a lot.
That's true.
Already you're at more than 5 players or more than 4 players plus more cards. So I like the 2 to 4 player variant the best, but very good game. Nice little hidden deduction, hidden roll game.
It was already in my top 20 from this year,
Yeah.
so
I find it impossible not to recommend Love Letter to someone that hasn't played it. It's cheap, portable, and easy.
100%.
And fun. Like, it's not my favorite game in the world, but I find it almost impossible to not be like, yeah, you should try it.
Absolutely.
Like, I feel like everyone should try Love Letter. All right, moving on to the next biggest. This is...
I think it's Cat. No,
I think Cat Lady is Cat... They're the same.
they're
the same
pretty much the
size.
exact
We're
same
going to go
box.
right in with Cat Lady. This is a game about collecting cats, catnip, spray bottles, cat toys, food to feed your cats. I really like the action selection system in this game. You've got a table of 9 cards, 3 rows / 3 columns of cards, and basically you're collecting an entire column or an entire row, and then locking the next player out from taking that column or row.
Yeah, very simple.
Yeah, super simple game. It moves very fast. I think we looked at the deck of cards, and Doolin was like, wow,
gonna take a while.
I didn't expect there to be that many cards. And I was like, dude, it's going to sneak up on you. And 5 minutes later, I was like, well, last turn. He's like, oh my God, what? It really does move very quickly.
Yeah.
This one also has a mobile app, which is extremely well done. Like,
Really?
the app is awesome. The
Very
app is
cool.
great. If this game interests you at all. I know me personally, I like the cuteness and the theme. Doolin hates cats, bar
I don't
none.
hate them.
They hate you.
Me. My body can't stand them.
Yeah. So the theme for him probably is a bit of a deterrent, actually. Whereas for
Let
some,
me know when
it
you
can
have
be
a
big
dog
thing.
lady, AEG.
Dog lady. I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. Cat
Or
lady's
dog daddy.
Dog daddy. That's the ticket. Trademarked, by the way. Trademarked on that one. This is one that the theme levels it up for me, but it's just one of those things that's going to be divisive. I mean, if you don't care about cats, the theme is non-existent, and then it's a good game, but it's not one that's particularly exciting.
The art's cute.
Yeah, the art's cute. I really like how they do it. Like I said, it's the totally unique action selection system or card selection system, and in a short package with cute art. There's also a collector's edition with like better food tokens and better stuff like that. I don't have that one to showcase to you, but this is definitely a really great game. I was honestly so shocked by it. This is one of those that I bought solely on the fact that I was like, man, I'm trying to get Danielle into board games. Let's buy the game Cat Lady.
Yeah.
And then I played it and I was like, wow, this is genuinely fun. Like, it's really good time. That's Cat Lady.
Yeah. So next up
Next up is Point Salad.
Point Salad, which is a similar style game.
Similar style game. Yeah, go ahead. You can
It's
talk
actually
about it. I didn't want to
really
interrupt you.
similar. You pick. Is it only between 3 rows, and you get all of them, or is it
No,
you get
it's-
one and then you eliminate the other 2?
Yes.
Okay.
You can draft 2 cards or 1 point card. So
that's
two
right.
vegetables or 1 point card.
That's right.
And then they cycle down, so you can kind of block each other out if
That's
you
right.
go for them.
And
Yeah.
they flip over depending on which thing that you can get. I like that a lot. I like the fact that the cards are built in such a way that mechanic is really easy.
You see a
spend lot of
point
time setting
card
it up.
that like you really want. I don't have to hate draft the point card. I just have to take a vegetable from below it, and then it flips away. So it gives you that strategical decision to take away that point card from him without really like neutering your own hand by choosing cards that you do not care about at all.
I also really like the idea of this game having the ways to score are not universal between the two of us.
Oh, yeah.
And I can spend my whole time collecting just those ways to score, while Max is just getting vegetables the entire time.
My lettuce can be worth 4, while yours can be worth -2.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
exactly.
a vastly different ways of scoring in this game, and it is exactly what it says it is. Everything earns you points. It is a point salad. The end where you have to calculate everything takes almost longer than the game. That's mostly a joke because the game is very fast. I really like this as a filler game. It's probably, I don't want to spoil things too much, but it's one of my favorite fillers, at least of recent times. It's just so
It's
easy,
good.
so simple, and so fast. So
Yeah.
that's Point Salad. Next largest is probably Smash Up and Space Base. They're probably the
They're
same.
about the same. AEG has very similar boxes for everything and probably just paints over them all.
Yeah, well, hey, it makes it good and easy for organizing shelf space.
That's
so
fair.
this is Smash Up. This is kind of your, man, how do you even describe this? You're taking like
You're not-
stereotypical movie things, ninjas, robots, aliens,
It's like
dinosaurs, pirates.
Somebody had a board meeting. They were like, "What's the coolest stuff in the last 10 to 20 years that we can think of to like that are from fantasy and sci-fi
Nerd
and
culture,
everything?" Like,
right, yeah.
And throw them all into one game, and we'll literally smash them together.
Yeah, in this game, you're drafting those decks, and each person takes 2 decks, which you're then going to shuffle together to make up your playing deck, and then you've got 40 cards that are both pirates and dinosaurs, or robots and aliens, or something like that.
Yeah, this game tries to do something that I've seen a couple of games do, and I've not really been a big fan of very many of them, which is they want to give you the feeling of like Magic the Gathering without you having to collect a bunch of cards.
Right.
And there's not a lot of those that do it well.
Like,
in my
I've never
opinion.
played Magic, so I can't really attest to that very much. I really like the idea behind this game, and I've said this many times before. I'm not like, I mean, there are some. Point Salad, for example, is a strictly card game, but I'm not a typical card guy.
Yeah.
Like, especially the ones where they have the abilities that you have to read. I mean, there are not many games I can think of that are strictly card games that I really enjoy that much. And unfortunately, Smash Up is joining the ranks of those that are good, not great. Yeah. I mean, the game's perfectly acceptable, perfectly fine. I enjoyed it, but it's not one that I particularly would need to own. But I think you can take what you will from the description of the game and how it plays and decide whether that's something for you or not. I knew coming into this that I didn't think Smash Up was for me. And I was going and completely willing to try that out to see if that, surpassed expectations. But I think I was correct. I knew myself better than I thought I was, and Smash Up is a good game, but not a good game for me.
Okay, so next up is Space Base.
Sposs Boss.
Sposs Boss. Spoos Boos.
Spoos Boos.
Spice
Gotcha.
Spice. Anyway, so this game is...
No, that's not how you spell Sposs Boss.
It's like, what is it, a card drafting game, essentially?
It's a dice rolling... Hey,
I forgot about the dice rolling part of it.
That's the whole game,
Listen, we
Doolin.
played it like a month ago.
It has been a bit, but the entire game is like dice rolling.
You're right. You roll it and
dice selection because you're choosing both of them or the sum of them.
Yes.
And you're basically taking actions that are in your space base that you've acquired via money to build up, and you're basically engine building. Essentially,
that was the part that I
yeah,
remember.
it's like an engine builder mixed with a dice roller. My favorite thing about this game, and if you've ever played Machikoro or Valeria Card Kingdoms, I have not, but I believe they play very similar in the sense that when you roll the dice, everyone around the table is still engaged. Because no matter what you're doing, when you roll, I still may get a benefit from that based off the cards that I have. Because every time you get a new card, you replace the one already there, turn it upside down, and slide it under, and then there's a smaller benefit that you get when an opponent rolls that number. So you're engaged throughout the entirety of the game. You're trying to get your income up so you can buy more cards. You're trying to get more powerful cards that allow you to do more abilities, and you're just trying to get victory points. It's a race to 40 victory points, essentially.
Honestly, the first time I played this, I was like, why in the world do they not call it Space Race? But
it's a base that you're building. I mean,
I'm just kidding. It's not a big complaint.
It's a base that you're building.
Now there's another game called Space Race, right? Yeah. So they missed their chance. Anyway, I think that this game is fun. I think that it's a fair comparison to Machikoro.
Yeah.
Where Machikoro is the same way, where you can choose to get cards that are cheaper that only affect you on your turn, or cards that affect you on every person's turn.
Right.
And so it's like you decide, is it worth paying more to get those cards or not?
Most people consider this the Machikoro killer. I have no insight to that because I haven't played it.
I will
theme
wait
and
to
art
decide
alone,
that when we rank them.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about that later. I've given away my hand too much. I gotta stop. You're keeping quiet. You're keeping it all close to the chest.
Yep.
And I'm over here just spilling the beans like, oh, this game's great. I don't like this game. I'm just talking all about it. So that's Space Base. We'll talk more about our likes when we get to it in a minute.
Calico. Game that we both have played
Uh-huh.
on this channel before. And we actually have talked about
Yes, we did. I was trying to think.
About this. We actually filmed and never put out a comparison to Azul.
Yeah, Calico versus Azul game.
And then we did Azul versus Bees later.
So now we need to do Calico versus Bees versus Azuls.
Versus
Machikoro.
Stained Glass of Sintra.
Oh.
We should do all of them.
Every game in the world?
No.
Oh, okay.
Only that style of game.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't think any of those games are that way.
Overboss, maybe?
No, that's more like King Domino.
Yeah, that's
This
true.
is like pattern stuff. Yeah, anyway.
It's a pattern building, tile drafting, tile placement game.
Yes.
In which you're attempting to make the best quilt and attract the most cats.
Yes.
There's so many different objectives to go off of. This is one of those games that is gorgeous and cute, and the theme is nice, and then you look at it and your brain just begins to melt. I mean, there are tons of different things. The objectives have you going for a certain objective with colors and a certain objective with patterns at the same time. And if you can get them both, you get more points. Then by getting 3 colors or patterns in a row, you get a button. And then by the cats want to come to your board too by getting their patterns. There's so many patterns.
Yeah, part of me thinks that this game is like a mixture. I don't know. This is how I think about it in my head. It's a mixture between Azul and Fort. Because Fort has that ability to draft and then have it in your hand, and then you pick to play a card in your hand as well. So like you can have a hand of cards that you might have hate drafted that you'll never use. So like in Calico, you have 2 off to the side that after you've drafted them, you don't have to place those yet. You can be like, I'm going to save this for a lot later.
No, I don't remember. Is it 2 or 3 that you have in your hand, though?
I
thought it was only 2.
I thought it was only 2.
Regardless, you can keep one for a while and not end up using it.
Yeah. Which I think is interesting because, if you compare that to other pattern building games, there's often, when you draft it, you immediately have to play it.
Yeah, it also doesn't immediately screw you if you take something that you can't play in Azul. I mean, you can hold on to it. It gives you a little more flexibility.
Yeah.
That's a complaint I've heard about Calico, is that it's a little too random because you only are choosing from 3 tiles at a time. The drafting pool is a grand total of 3 tiles. So it's not like there's a bunch available and you can really mitigate what you get. You're kind of getting stuck with one of those 3 regardless of whether they work for you or not.
That's true.
But then you have the hand thing, which kind of allows you to play something already in your hand and hold on to that. So I get that it mitigates it a little bit. But this is a big puzzly game with so many things that your brain is trying to do at once, and you cannot complete them all, but you really desperately want to.
A decent amount of replay value too, especially with the changing of the cats that you're trying to attract to your quilt.
There's also there's solo scenarios, which I think is really cool, and I've not played them, but it's not a beat this score type thing. It gives you a scenario to try and complete, which I think is nice when solo isn't just do better than you did last time.
Yeah.
I like that they give you that option. So.
All right, and then
that's
the last 3 are basically all the same size.
Yeah, they're all quite large.
So
We've got Tiny Towns here
first,
which is a grid placement, not tile, but it's like a grid placement, resource management, pattern building game.
Yeah.
You're trying to build a town to complete different scoring objectives. Like this can be worth 3 if it's fed, and this is worth 0, but it feeds things in the column and the row that it's touching. And this is worth 6 if it's in the center, or 3 if it's not, and worth -1 if it's touching something else.
That's
so
true.
a lot of different like things you have to think about and put them together. And this is a punishing, really easy to get stuck game.
And this is one of the first games ever that gives me the feeling of like a Dark Souls board video game, that I love it and it's really hard.
Oh, yeah.
And I leave it thinking, oh man, I did horrible. I want to play it again.
Yeah. Now, if you're watching this video saying Tiny Towns is not hard at all, we've only played it a couple of times, so maybe we're just bad. But I've only played it 3 times. I think you've only played it twice, but it is very hard. I've not won this game yet. Each time I've played, I've had many, like 3, 4, or 5 empty spaces that I just got stuck with, and my score just plummets at the end. I think Danielle beat me 36-14 or something the first time we played. Like, it's a difficult, punishing game. I like the puzzle behind it. You really have to plan like far ahead, and you really have to take into account what your opponent wants, because the game works by drafting a single resource, and you take the resource that you want, and your opponent is forced to also take that resource. Meaning, if I take blue, and then I need red, or I'm done. And then I look at Doolin's board, and I'm like, oh, he doesn't need red at all. Like, he's going to take yellow right now. Then he takes yellow, and I'm like, well, that's it. I screwed myself because I didn't pay enough attention. You really have to pay a lot of attention to both your wants and your opponent's wants.
There's a lot of that in this game, and I will say that I really enjoy the solo variant too. It has a whole separate deck that has a way that it changes the game a little bit, but it's not too different, I guess. And then another thing that I just random thought about this game, I feel like, and have you played Minecraft like at all?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like somebody saw how you build things in Minecraft in the crafting table.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like,
we can make a game out of that.
Get my notepad. I really feel that way, because you're collecting the little materials.
I hadn't
and
thought
you're putting
about
them in a specific way, and then as soon as that happens, boop, they form a piece of the town.
Yeah, that's that pattern building aspect. You have to know what to go for, and it's going to block things off, and it really is a much more punishing game. My complaint about Tiny Towns is that the theme is super cute with these critters and mice and things like that, and they're not involved at all, which I have heard is fixed a little in the expansions. I don't have that yet, but I do plan on acquiring it soon, and I hope that allows me more of that exploration of the theme with the cuteness and stuff, because I like that. I mean, it's a really punishing game, but I still want to know more about these critters and what they're doing and stuff like that.
So, so that's Tiny Towns.
Next up, we have Santa Monica, which you can talk about this game. You introduced this one to me.
Yeah, so this one is a card drafting game.
Yep.
It's a card drafting game, and you place this into your pier / boardwalk / beach. Like, you're building all of those things all at once, and the goal is to fill it with as many things that will score you as much points as possible. Each card has a placement thing that happens, and then a way it scores, and then a way you can interact with it, meaning that you can you can move your tourists and your locals and your VIP around on the board, and some of them have spots where they can just chill and hang out, and they get you more points at the end of the game if you put them there. There's just a lot, like, the board point salad also comes to mind with this one, where there's just so many ways to score, and every single card has a way that it's going to help you, whether it's immediate victory points just by placing it there, or ways that you can score if you bring certain people there, or ways that you can score if you have certain things around it. And it's a double layered thing where you start with a card that represents the beach and the boardwalk or the sidewalk,
and then you just extend out.
So I can have a whole bunch of cards that are sidewalk, or just beyond that, cards that are at the beach. Very cute game, and fairly fast paced.
Yeah, I'd say it's like a 45 to 60 minute game, which I think is a good weight. I mean, it's a good length for what it offers.
Yeah. And the foodie and the food truck, I think, add a lot to the game as well, which I think
a
is
lot
neat.
of decision making in deciding what you want, because this may not be as good for you as this, but the foodie's there, the food truck's there, which gives you an extra benefit. Maybe you need that benefit more. Yeah, I really do like this game a lot. I've only played this the one time, but I really thoroughly enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to trying it again.
Great game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I shouldn't have. I gave my hand away a little bit.
Well, I've been doing it the whole time. Next is Sheepy Time. This is the newest release from AEG. This is a press your luck race game, is how I would describe it.
Absolutely.
In which you are attempting to stay asleep and get the most sleep without being woken up by the nightmare, essentially. And in doing so, you're playing cards from your hand that move you around the board and collect you winks and collect you Z's and stuff like that, which allow you to get abilities that can jump you forward 7 or do this and whatnot. There's abilities around the board that are filling up, all the while the nightmare is chasing you. Once you pass the fence, which is 10 spots, I believe, you are forced to make a decision. Do I go to sleep, or do I wake up, or do I stay asleep?
Yeah.
If you wake up, you calculate what you've earned, you're done. Anyone else can continue playing. If you continue moving, that's fine. You can earn way more points and move along that track way quicker. But if at any point in time, the nightmare jumps the fence, he scares you awake, and you lose every single thing that you've done that entire time.
Yeah.
So there's a really nice element of push your luck and trying to decide, like, okay, these cards for the nightmare have come out already. I think I can get around to another go before the nightmare gets another card that moves him 3 spaces.
Yeah.
So there's a nice little strategy there trying to predict what will come based off of the information you've seen.
Yeah, I would say that this game gives you a lot more decision making than I thought initially going into it. I thought it was going to be way more luck based than it actually is. The strategy involved in it is actually fairly it's still very lightweight, but it's more complex than I thought, because looking at it, you think it's a kid's game. You know, like, I don't know. I immediately thought, oh, this is just a kid's game.
Look at the art. It's cute, but it doesn't give you the... You don't think it's like a thinky game. You think you're going to just be rolling dice and moving. I mean, there are no dice or anything like that. It's really not, but it is still a simple game that you can absolutely introduce to anyone.
Yeah, I'm excited to try this again, because there's even, like, some different nightmares,
Yeah, there's more nightmares. Yeah, there's 3 nightmares.
All interact with you differently, which is really neat to me.
Yeah, the spider has the web, and we've only played with the wolf so far, but quite enjoyed our experience with that. So... Yeah. I think that's all the AEG games we have. Let's pull them... Well, let's not pull them back out.
Do you want to do, like, one of us pulls out our least favorite... Like, go all the way up to favorite, and we'll take turns?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I gotta get my list.
Okay. I'm ready.
Okay. I am too.
I feel like we might be in agreement on this last one.
On the last place one?
Yeah. Go ahead and pull it out.
All right, my last place one is... Smash Up.
Agreed.
Is this your last place one too?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It is, like I said, I think that it falls in that category of game that tries to get a Magic the Gathering experience in a game without having you pay for a bunch of packs, without trying to be a Magic the Gathering clone, because this is, you choose 2 packs of cards, essentially 2 decks, and you mash them together, and it's just like Magic the Gathering, where you oftentimes are mashing 2 colors together, or mashing 2 types of green cards together, and you're building that deck yourself. And I think that games that try to do that miss something. Like that, building a deck is more than half the fun for me of Magic the Gathering. Like, I spent way more time building decks, and I'm sure you guys who are into that game too have done this. Way more time building decks and having fun that way than actually playing the game.
Yeah.
And if this game were that way, it might intrigue me more. But it just, the fact that they're all in there, I just choose to. It just feels like I'm playing with somebody else's Magic the Gathering deck.
I really like certain aspects of it, and I told you this while we were playing. I liked how the thematics of certain cards work really well together. You were playing the zombies who draw from the discard deck, as in they're kind of rising from the dead. The robots and the aliens allowed me to circulate my deck far more. When I first played this game, I played the pirates and the dinosaurs, and I never circulated my deck. And Danielle was playing the gnomes and the wizards and was on her 3rd time through the deck by the time I finished. So I like how unique the decks actually are and how well they work together. Unfortunately, it's fine. I think it's one of those games that it's one of those that I play it and I'm exploring my deck and seeing my cards. I'm like, wow, this is pretty fun.
Yeah.
I like what I have here. I like how I'm able to use this together. Ooh, that's a special card I haven't seen yet. I like how that works. And then by the time I've seen the majority of my deck, I'm like, wow, this game should probably be over by now. And you realize you've only captured one base.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I genuinely think that if this game was, there are 3 bases, and once those 3 bases are gone, it's over, that would be more fun to me than go to 15 points, because it's one of those things where it's just like, I'm done. I've seen what I have to see. I'm seeing the fun that this game provides, and I like it, and then it just overstays its welcome by a long shot.
There's too much. You just said something that's interesting to me, is like, you like how the thematics of each card thing works. And I think that I agree with that, but there's way too much that is similar to literally every other game like this. Like the dinosaurs I was playing as just remind me of the green cards that you can get in Magic the Gathering, because those are where the best animals are. Whereas your robots just remind me of the sliver decks that Josh McCoy used to play, or Jash used to play with, where they all affect each other and they build each other up. I was like, this just feels like a clone.
Which is fine. That's, I mean, it's an easy way to get into those kinds of games, but you're paying the price of not paying the price. You're getting a cheaper game, and it just doesn't do it as well.
100%. I could see also a theme being a reason.
Yeah, I mean, they have like Marvel Smash Up too, and I could see where lots of people are drawn to something like that, and that's totally fine. Theme for me, like heroes, pirates, ninjas, whatever, like they're fine, but like it doesn't draw me in any particular way.
Yeah.
Fine game, not a great game.
Yeah, and if you're an AEG person who's watching this video, please don't click away, because we absolutely love most of these games.
Yeah,
this is just one that didn't hit us.
This is a fine game, and this is the worst game on your list.
Yeah.
In our opinion. Of course, we still haven't played all of them, but I think it's okay. If someone was like, "Hey, man, let's play Smash," I'd be like, "Okay." I'm not going to introduce it myself.
I would probably say, let's play something else.
All right, that is the bottom tier for both of us.
Yeah, you pick out your next one.
You're gonna hate me.
I'm not gonna hate you. Oh yeah.
Love Letter.
That's fine.
Love Letter is
You're allowed to be wrong.
My next weakest game, and I really like it. I mean, I said earlier, I find it hard. You
probably won't like me for my next pick either, so it's fine.
Yeah, I think I know what you're going with, but I find it really hard to not recommend Love Letter. It's the price point, the weight, how easy it is to introduce, the quickness of the way you can play it. Like you said, you were playing it before the wedding with a couple of people that had 20 minutes, and you're like, wait, you can play a game in 20 minutes? Of course you can. Pull out Love Letter. It's really fun. It's just not one I care to play that much. It you know, if you ask me, Max, we have 20 minutes. Which AEG game do you want to play? Duh, because it's the only one. But, well, Point Salad, actually. I would take Point Salad over this. But it has a niche, and it fills it well. But if we're ranking, and as we said in the beginning of the video, these rankings are silly. They're subjective, and they're all different games. It's
wait! Don't leave! Don't click away.
No. You should probably. It's fine. It's a fine game, but it's my 8th favorite of the 9 AEG games we've played.
All right, my next one for second place, and you're gonna have to put Love Letter back, because Love Letter isn't.
That actually doesn't surprise me, nor does it really disappoint me.
Cat Lady.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I think it's mainly because I like games that are very similar to it more, and the theme. I don't hate cats by any means. It just doesn't pull me in.
Yeah.
So it's a fun game, and I would say I like this one way more than I like this one.
Yeah.
Like Upgrade.
Yeah, I think so too. That's one thing we need to talk about here. Neither of us really got along with Smash Up, but
everything beyond
Smash Up is like a 5 out of 10, and the next best is like at least a 7 out of 10. Like, I mean, they are all genuinely good games in our opinion. Honestly, that's next for me.
Really? Okay, so this goes up next for you.
Yep, this is next for me. That would be my 7th of 9th favorite games by AEG. Don't think I really have anything to say about it. It's fun. It's kind of one of those, to a lesser extent than Smash Up, but that I'm happy to play. I mean, to a greater extent than Smash Up. But it's not one that I care about that much. It's a good game. I'm surprised by it. I was still shocked at how good it was, because I didn't have any expectations coming in.
Yeah.
But it's not like a game I love.
Yeah. So. No, again, it's very similar to other games, and it's cute. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next up for me, 7th place. I keep having to look at it. I don't know why I haven't memorized these yet. Is Space Base.
Hey, man.
No way.
That's my 6th. But
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So, like, other than Love Letter, we've been in agreement pretty much.
Can we high five, please?
Very
Thank
cool.
God. I was sitting there waiting forever. Yeah, Space is next on my list
That's really
as well.
cool. We didn't collaborate
No,
with these.
we have no
I've
idea
not
each
seen
other's
his
list.
list at all. Anyway, this one's good.
Yeah.
I think that the couple of, like, I think we played it twice.
Yep.
Maybe. And
I think
the
we need to put a
engine-
caveat here, too. We have only ever played this game, myself included. I've played this game twice with you and twice with someone else.
Yeah.
I've only ever played it at the 2-player count.
Yeah.
I've never played it at 3 or 4, and it's
Which
one
might
that
make
I
it better.
imagine is probably better because there's more happening and going on at 3 or 4, but I'll let you continue what you were going to say.
No,
about it.
I would just say that I think I specifically, when I played it, I remember thinking this is a lot like Machikoro. And then by the end of it, thinking I kind of like Machikoro maybe more.
Okay,
and this is great. It's just, I don't know. I think that if I were wanting to keep one or the other, because they are that similar, I would much rather play Machikoro.
Really?
I think
Okay.
that this is... It overstays its welcome, maybe a little bit too long.
I can see that, too, yeah.
And then also, like, I don't know, the shopping is kind of
See,
okay.
I like the shopping. I think the shopping's really nice, in my opinion.
Okay.
I like the way the income is done, and I like the way that you can build it up, and it goes back to a certain point. I really do enjoy the income and shopping of this.
It's good.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with getting Space Base. If you like Space Base, I know that a lot of people have it actually even in their top 20.
Yeah, a lot of people love. There's a lot of love for Space Base. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's made by the same designer who also made Cubitos, which we have not had a chance to try yet.
I'm
We
excited
want
to
to.
try.
I enjoy Space Base. I like space as a theme, but the reason I like space is not what Space Base gives me. So to me, the theme does almost nothing.
Yeah.
I like space, but it's not because spaceships and planets are cool. I like the cosmic, unknown, kind of grittier, darker kind of things with space. You think of like the movie Aliens or the game Nemesis and stuff like that. That's more of where I go.
Yeah.
It's not just because, oh, hey, we're in outer space, I'm going to love it. So the theme doesn't really, it's not a hit for me. It's fine. It's a good game. I like it. It's on our list. It's a 7 out of 10 for me, I think. But
Yeah. Something to say really great about it is and goes for a lot of AEG games, I think the quality of the game is really nice.
Yeah.
I like the player boards. Like, those are really great.
I do wish that there was like, I don't even know how you do it, but some kind of dual layer or way to make the cards not slide as much.
Oh, yeah.
Because you got 12 small cards, which they're all well done. That's great quality, but there's no doubt that it's going to move around more than you want it to, in my
How would
opinion.
you do that?
I have no clue.
Well.
We're not going to talk about that. Next for you, because that was my 6th.
That was
already.
6, so I need
9,
my
8,
6.
7, 6. Yeah, you need your
My
6.
6th is... where? I remember what it is. It's actually Sheepy Time.
Okay.
Sheepy Time is good. Actually, I would dare say it is close to great.
Yeah.
It is... I've had a lot of fun with it. The more I think about it, though, I think I just enjoyed our playthroughs of it less than I liked the game, if that made sense. I
Okay.
really enjoyed playing with you and Danielle, and it was really fun. And that's about all I can say. Is I had a good time. I don't know if it's a game that I really want to go back to time and time again, if that makes sense. I do want to try the other Nightmares. I love that they have more than one Nightmare, because they totally could have just thrown one in and it'd be fine. That's me.
Sure.
I lost really badly because I'm typically pretty bad at pressure luck games because I do not press my luck. I get around the board once and I'm like, cool,
I'm done.
Done.
And then other people go 3 each time. You're like, man, maybe I should have.
yeah. And that's something else to think about is, like, for me, the downtime dragged on a bit.
Yep.
But that was my own fault because I jumped
but
out
it
of the
still
game.
can be a negative. Sure, sure.
yeah.
I'll talk about a little more of this one later. It's not directly up
Okay.
next on my
Okay,
list.
dang
so.
it. We were
Yeah, no,
It's probably good for, like...
Diversity of
Diversity,
content.
yeah,
Sure,
yeah,
sure. Go ahead and pull your next one out. Go ahead and do 2 in a row. See if I.
Oh, yeah, so mine is number 5, right?
Yeah,
Number 5?
uh-huh.
Number 5 for me is... I forgot. Oh, wait, it wasn't what I was about to grab. It's actually this one right here.
Okay, all right.
Point Salad. Very, very similar, in my mind, to Cat Lady. Works similarly.
Speaking of cats,
Yeah, speaking of cats.
can't see him on the camera. There he
Did
is.
somebody say cats?
He's like, hold on.
This game, I enjoyed playing against you. I can't remember who won between us. I thought it was you. I think you
Yeah.
actually ran away with the
I think
game.
I did win pretty hard in this one.
And I got crushed because I wasn't hate drafting as much as you were. You were blocking me, like, really, really well.
Yeah.
I do think that this game is really, really fun. I think it's approachable. In my mind, it immediately compares to... man, I don't want to say this and be completely wrong, but it is kind of similar to Sushi Go. Sushiko Party.
I think that's a fine place to put them at. Whether
Yeah.
they're the same, I mean, they're not the same,
You're-
but
you-
I think it's a good comparison to have.
It's a little bit different because you are passing the cards back and forth whenever you're drafting them, and this one they're in front of you and they draft differently. But the way they score are very similar in my mind. And you know, I'm probably on my like 50th play of Sushiko Party, if not more.
Right.
And that's just like, it's in my top 20. It's the one I'd rather go to. That being said, I would be absolutely okay with owning Point Salad at some point. I love this game.
Yeah, I think it's really good. I'll talk about it a little more in a minute.
Okay, so that one goes back.
Yeah. You might actually surprise what's next. It's the one under Santa Monica.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm not that surprised.
Yeah. And I've
Tiny
said this
towns.
already, and I'll say it again. I really like all of these at this point on. I mean, really, genuinely like them a lot. My thing with Tiny Towns is I don't freaking get it yet. I still suck. I've played 3 times and I've been demolished every time. My brain does not work with it well right now. I really like everything that it has to offer. I like how punishing it is. Like you said, it kind of reminds you of like the punishment that you get from a Dark Souls game, but then you actually enjoy it too. And I like that. I do think it's punishing, but I'm having fun the entire time. And I feel like I'm learning each and every time I play of things that I can do better next time.
Okay.
But it is at this point in my list. I still really like it. I want to see what the expansions have to offer. It's not going anywhere. But it is just above Space for me, in my opinion.
Okay. So Tiny Towns is going back because
Yes.
it's not my number 4. You
Okay.
want to go with your number 4?
Sure. My number 4 is Point Salad.
Okay. So it was close. We were
Yeah,
close
not
to
too
that.
far away on Point
Yeah.
Salad. Point Salad is, at this point in time, I think my favorite filler game.
Really?
I
Wow.
can't think of another filler.
Whoa. Does it go above what's the monk drafting game? I've asked you-
Biblios.
Does it go above Biblios?
No.
Biblios?
No, Biblios is better. It doesn't go above Biblios.
Okay.
But I think that this is a little easier to introduce. Not that Biblios is
Yeah.
hard, but this is like
Isn't
so
Biblios only
simple.
2-player too? No. It's
Biblios
more
is
than
2 to 4. This is not hard, or Biblios is not hard, but this
2
is
to
a
6.
little easier to introduce to people, and I think it goes really well, really fast, and just super simple, super fun, and you can be done in no time for people that aren't gamers.
Okay.
What's next?
Number 4 for both of us. I
4.
think you actually just said your number
4 was
right?
Point Salad for
For
me,
Point Salad. All right. So my number 4, there's only 4 left out there, and Sheepy Time's already been said. Which
For
one of
you,
these
yeah.
do you think for me?
For your number 4, Calico.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
Calico is a great game, and I would compare it to Azul, which is one that is on my top 20. Actually, I think it was in my top 10, maybe. No. I think
It is
it was
close,
if
yeah.
not. Great game. I love it. Again, I wish I was more of a cat person.
Yep.
I think that
I mean,
hurts
that's certainly, yeah, it does, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's hard not to. I mean, theme is huge, in my opinion, and there are definitely themes that interest me and themes that don't, and cats do interest me, and they don't for you, and that's fine. Yeah.
I do like the pictures of the cats, though. in the
It's
book.
beautiful, yeah. I think it's funny how the cat on the front is not a calico, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, number 3 for me.
Okay.
I don't know what else to say about Calico. You're probably going to talk about it
I will
soon,
talk
right?
about it
Okay,
more,
so
yeah.
That's going to go up here. Number 3 for me.
Uh-huh.
Okay, number
wait.
3
Santa
for me
Monica.
is Santa Monica. Yeah, Santa Monica. There are 3
Love
games
letters
left.
in your top 2.
Love Letter, Tiny Towns, and Santa Monica
Woo!
are left for me. Santa Monica is a beautiful game.
It is.
I think that the art...
Production in general.
Man.
The
And-
meeples, everything.
Oh, yeah, I love that about it. I think that the love poured into this game is very clear to me. Somebody who is from around that area clearly knows what's going on. Because I have only been to the coast of California once. I was in LA
Never
for
me, yeah.
it was 5 hours. We were in a layover, so we were like, let's just go to the beach. And so Emily and I walked along the beach where basically one of these sidewalks were.
Yeah.
And it feels like that. Like it's very
That's really
much,
cool.
there's beach volleyball going on, and then over there, oh, there's a pier with a ton of restaurants. And oh, hey, look, there's giant houses. Oh, hey, look, there's this spot with a huge,
Bunch of
humongous
shops
hotel.
and stuff,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's very much this way. And I just think that that's cute, and maybe I am taking that scenario where I was there and putting it
Sure.
a little more into this game than I need to, but I think it's beautiful and I love it, and then, yeah, have had a good time every time I played it.
I'll talk about that one more in a second.
Okay, so is it your number 3?
No.
What is your number 3?
Sheepy Time.
Wow, Santa Monica is that high for you?
Santa Monica's
That's
that high.
awesome, dude.
Now, with that being said, I've only played Santa Monica one time.
Okay.
So, it's one of those that I'm high on, for
Yeah.
sure. but maybe it'll go down after more plays.
Mm-hmm.
We've played these a variable amount of times. I mean, there are games like Cat Lady and A Point Salad and Love Letter that I've played dozens of times.
Mm-hmm.
There are games like Calico that I've played a handful, whatever. These I've played a couple, one time, whatever. So a variable amount of time in here. But Sheepy Time's great. I really like Sheepy Time. And I think it fits a nice weight for not only weight of like rules and how to play and whatnot, but I think there's a really nice just combination, and most push your luck games kind of have this, of luck and strategy, and I think it does it really well in such a digestible package. I mean, you can teach this game to anybody. You have 2 cards in your hand, you're playing 1 card, that's it. Do you want to stop? No? Keep going. I mean, it's very simple, and I really like the theme. It's so unique. I've never thought of that for a game. The art's amazing. It's really just a straight up great game. I like Sheepy Time a lot, and I'm excited to see what the other nightmares do.
Yeah.
So that's my number 3.
Awesome. So goes to number 2. Do you want to do your number 2 first?
Sure.
Or, okay. So what's your number 2?
No, I want to hear yours. Let's see.
You want to hear mine?
What do you got left? Tiny Towns or Love Letter? I'll go ahead and get mine out of the way because I'm more interested in yours. My number 2 is gonna be Santa Monica.
Okay.
So
I'm not surprised at all by your number 1.
Your number 1, yeah. So Santa Monica is great. Like I said, I've only played it one time. I have never been to the California coast. I loved it. The aesthetics, the feel that it gives you. It probably helps that we were listening to like, the Melodice playlist where I looked up Santa Monica and it gave us like the Beach Boys and whatnot like that. It was really nice having that thematic music overlaying it as well. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I think the components are top notch. I really like the way it works. I like the multitude of things you have to think about, both getting a certain amount of these or getting these in a group together and having places for your people to go because they're worth negative points if they're not anywhere, and really a solid game. I'm excited to try it again.
Absolutely.
That's my number 2.
Can we talk about the fact that sand dollars are your money?
Yeah, that is really cool. That is
So
really cool.
cute.
I want to guess what your number 1. I feel like your number.
I do want to say though, caveat this before this happens.
Okay.
We went into ranking these with one of my top 20 that we just did.
Yeah.
In the list.
Yeah, Love Letter.
So like you had to know Love Letter was going to be pretty high.
Yeah.
In order for Tiny Towns to be higher than Love Letter, it would have to be in my top 20 now.
And is it?
Do you think it is?
I didn't until you said that. I thought Love Letter was going to be number 1, and then you give me this like tease. And now I want to say that maybe Tiny Towns is your number 1. I'm going to say Love Letter is your number 1 still.
Okay. My number 2 is Love Letter.
No way!
Yeah, and this was number 19 or 20, I think.
Yeah.
In my top 20 list. Love this game. Have very, very fond memories of playing this game. I think that I really love social deduction games, and it's very approachable. It's very easy to introduce to people. I've had multiple times where I've played with groups of people who are still very new to board games, but we're like, hey, Josh and Emily, we want to invite over. And
who's Josh?
Doolin and Emily, we want to invite over, and hey, Doolin, bring 2 or 3 games, and we'll play 1 or 2 of them. And I almost always bring Love Letter.
Yeah, it's so simple. I mean, it's one of those that, like I said, I've said it 3 times now, no matter what weight of gamer you are, how new you are to the hobby, Love Letter is one that should probably be in your collection. I mean, it's an
way too
all
cheap
across
to
the board
miss out
game
on,
that
too.
everyone can own and love.
Yeah. So that's Love Letter, and then to caveat this, it basically is telling you as of right now. Now we're gonna wait until May of next year. It could not be there, but as of right now, Tiny Towns deserves a spot in my top 20. I enjoyed playing with you. I love the solo variant too.
Yeah.
I think that it is such an interesting, thinky game that doesn't give me too much what's the word where you're constantly you're polarized, you're thinking way too long.
Analysis paralysis.
Yes, there's not a lot of AP, and I just think it's very well done.
You're like
the idea of the game
entirely by the game right now.
Yeah,
too.
sorry.
You're like, what is that? Is it from SpongeBob or something? What is it from?
Mike
Monsters
Wazowski?
Inc.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tiny Town's a really great game. I really love this game. It's so good.
I just think that a lot of thought has gone into how the game plays, and the puzzle nature of it is just really, really fun. I'm excited to actually get this game and introduce it to specifically my dad, who every time he goes on vacation brings like 4 or 5 Ravensburger puzzles.
Oh, really?
And builds them every night for like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
I think that this game is perfect for him because like the idea of trying to fit all of these things into this tiny little square is just really interesting and fun.
Yeah. No, it's an excellent puzzle game, 100%. Also, I'm just now realizing that this piece that you put the cubes on, you can literally stack it on top of the piece. What? Didn't know that. Yeah, I really like.
You guys have
Tiny
no
Towns.
idea what he's talking about. It's this thing right here.
It's the
Where-
black
the
building.
factory.
Well, they're called different things depending on which card you have.
Oh well.
It's the black building.
I played it like 3 times, and every single time
You always
I
have the factory?
Always have the factory. So
Yeah, Tiny Towns is great. I think it will eventually climb my list a little more if I get better.
I've
at
heard
it.
it's only better with the expansion, so I'm excited.
Yeah, me
to
too.
Try
I've heard the
that
expansion's
too.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that leaves my number 1 for me, which is Calico. A game I haven't played in quite some time, but just absolutely love it.
Mm-hmm.
It is a puzzle game that, to me, you can play it solo. You can kind of customize the difficulty because you can choose certain objectives at the start to make it easier on yourself or have more possibility for more points, but make it harder on yourself. Allows you to kind of make your own difficulty and kind of even out the playing field when playing with different and new friends. I just love Calico. I like the theme. I love the art. I love the colors. It's so vibrant. The way it plays is very simple to me. I mean, it's very thinky. It's very puzzly, but it's a simple game that's fairly easy to teach.
I think the player board might be my favorite thing about
Player board is gorgeous. It's dual layer, and the exterior of the player board actually counts towards your objectives and things too. Yeah, I love Calico. It's number 1 on my list. Great game, but genuinely, all of these are great games.
Did you just throw Smash Up on the ground?
Anyways, this is our AEG list.
Our great games.
Our top 8, because there's only 8 games here. And they're all really genuinely good. I'd love to hear your ranking on what you think about these games. And let us know if there's any which we know we want to try. War Chest. We want to try Cubitos. We
I
wanna
really
try all
want you
these.
to try Meeples and Monsters, which
That's
is
true.
one that I've
So
played.
you've played it. Where on your list would it rank if you wanted to toss it in?
I think it would go right below Santa Monica, which was my number 3. So
Okay.
go number 4.
4, sure.
I like it a lot. It's one of those that is very interesting, and if you like that kind of like bag building game, it's
I do
really
like
fun.
bag builders.
It might be a little too long,
Okay.
but it is good.
Yeah.
AEG, you've done a really great job at making good to great games that. I mean, none of these I think are on your top 20. They're very close.
Calico was very close to my
Yeah.
top 20.
But so many times do they just knock it like they hit solid doubles.
Yeah, it might be the most consistent publisher in the game that
100%.
I'm aware of.
Yeah.
I mean, well, okay, leader games and things like that, but whatever. They are consistently 7 and above games.
And the variety that
Yeah.
you get from them is incredible.
I think if you are new to the hobby, AEG is an excellent place to
100%.
start. You could buy 5 AEG games and have a diverse collection that you can play and learn, and that's not hard to teach to your friends that
You'll
are also
probably
into the
like most
hobby.
of them.
And you'll probably like the vast
Just stay
majority
away from
of them.
Smash Up.
Yeah, that's our recommendation. Thanks for watching our AEG mashup video. We're just gonna end it right there. We're just gonna end it right there.
Yeah.